Okay guys, here's what we got going on today. So here at YOLO Outdoors we do everything. So I like woodworking. So since I like woodworking, one of the things that I normally do is I build stuff for the house, for my wife, anything that she wants. So what we've got here is a shelf that she wanted. So I went ahead and I started with some plain wood. I pocket jigged it and glued it before I started for you guys. So I was kind of ahead of the game. If you don't know what that is, I'll show you really quick. So pocket jigging is actually taking the screws and running them at an angle like this so that it screws the two pieces of wood together without making it come through the wood at all. Sometimes if you screw up a pocket jig hole, actually there's a really good example right there. That's what the hole looks like. It just goes at an angle down in the center of the wood. I actually did mess one up. You can see it right here. Screw kind of barely poked through a little bit. It's because the wood that I used was older wood before I burn it. And it's kind of somewhat warped. So it didn't make for the best, I should say. So anyway, so what I wanted to show you guys is one of the cool ways to make a corner shelf and round it out. Just a simple trick that I used. So my corner upstairs is 16 inches. So I just used a standard square. I drew my line out 16 inches. I want my boards to run across the wall so that way it looks nicer. So I marked out 16 inches this way, and then I drew my line this way, came to 13, and then I just flipped my square over, come over here, got to my 16 inches, squared it out here. So with that done, now I just need to round my one corner. I could break out one of my fancy little scribes and make it really cool, yada yada yada. It really isn't going to matter one way or the other. Another way to do it is just with a pencil and a string. Normally you want to try to run the string a little bit lower. Just trying to keep it tight as you can anyway. So you'll hold it here to there, and it should even out and stay the same 16 inches. And you just draw your line here like this, and 16 will go to 16 and it rounds out your thing. Just makes a nice round piece. Okay, so what you end up with is something that looks pretty like this. That this end down here will fit directly in your corner, and then this is your rounded end here. Now I did go ahead and sand these, all three of these edges. Hold on. Sorry, I run the fan while I'm in here cutting and sanding and stuff, but so you'll end up with something actually fairly pretty. So let me show you here. So that's what you end up with, and this will sit in the corner of the wall just like this. And then I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing for burning as far as here. So what I've got is just a regular propane torch. Most people won't have one this nice, but I do heating and air conditioning by trade, so I already happen to have one. But all I do is take the torch, and burn wood. Now you want to keep it moving. You don't want to stick it in one spot for too long. If you stick it in one spot for too long, it's going to burn too much. So I'm just burning the edges that I cut down inside the holes a little bit.
My feelings for you, my feelings for you.
Alright, that portion done. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wet cloth and just kind of wipe this down, because you see it's got, I don't know if you can see, black all over my fingers. Okay, so you want to take just a wet cloth to wipe this down. Don't want it too wet, but a wet cloth to wipe it down, so that way you can get all the garbage and stuff off of it. If you don't want to wipe it down, you can always clear coat it. Totally up to you. I mean, there's tons of ways to do this. This is just kind of the old rustic look. This is what my wife and I like, so this is what we're ending up with. So, got my wet rag. Dadgummit. That was a little unstable. Guess I'll be a little more careful, a little less violent. But anyway, got my wet rag here. And that's what you end up with. I don't know if you guys can see that very good. Here. I'll put it in the limelight right there. So ultimately, that's what it'll look like in the corner. So like I was telling you guys earlier, I like to pocket jig lots of stuff. So it's pretty simple with this one anyways. So all you do is find the spot that you want to make your holes at. You get all your depths and everything set properly. Get all that done, and then you just so for the most part, you just keep going, figure out how many holes you want. Okay guys, so here we are upstairs. So this is the corner where we're going to mount it. So whoops. So what I'm doing is I'm piloting a couple of holes. That way the wood is not supposed to split as bad, but still split a little bit. And we are perfectly level. Alright guys, so now what we got is just to put our pocket jig screws in. You just barely go until they tap. They say to use a drill, not an impact driver. I mean, personal preference, I guess. If you know what you're doing, you can use the impact driver. If you don't, then I don't recommend it. So anyway, this is what it looks like when it's done. Nice, smooth and easy. Everything fits all flush out in the corners. Good and solid. You know, and it's just got this nice rounded edge instead of having a big square corner hanging out. Just kind of flushes things out, makes it smooth. So if you guys have any questions, comment down below. I'll try to answer them best I can. Can't say I know everything, but I can answer most. So here's the finished product. One thing I did forget to show you guys was how I was going to mount all my wiring and everything. So just simple, slick and easy. This was actually made, as you can see, for our TV in our master bedroom, so that way we had somewhere to put our stuff after the wall mount. Just wanted something that looks slick and cool. I mean, it's not anything super fancy, but so what I did was I just took zip ties that had eyelets on them, so you could actually mount them to the wall. And that just, as you guys can see here, just kind of straightened everything up, keeps it all nice and neat. You know, same thing up here. Then I just coiled extra back up here for my antenna. I actually ran out of zip ties. I'll go get some more, finish mounting that, but that's not a big deal. So it just has a screw in the back, and I'm just going to tuck this up along like this with some white ones instead of black. If I had black, I would have just used black, but I ran out, period. So, but yeah, that's the finished product. I mean, looks pretty good. So, you know, from the top you can't tell, but you know, here's where all your pocket jig screws went. Here's the other mounting screws here. You know, I kind of chipped this one when I was drilling it out, but I mean, that's not a big deal. I really don't care. I'm not looking for something super nice. It's supposed to look old and rustic. It looks old and rustic to me. So, but anyway, questions, comments, leave them down below. Try to get to them and answer them as quick as I can.
I'm feeling for you.